Oh, so let me start over here, guys. It's Saturday and absolutely doing nothing today. Slept in, you know. I did wake up early, but I was thinking, what am I going to do? I got nothing planned. It's a nice warm day. I went back to bed, woke up about 9:30, went and had breakfast, washed my truck, did laundry, you know. And I started monkeying around with the Tacoma here. I got an issue with the CB radio antenna, the 2-foot Wilson fiberglass antenna. I was having trouble getting it tuned proper, and I figured I'd put it off until I got the spring for it, because I wanted a spring, because it's mounted up. It was mounted up there, right? And I need a spring in case I hit trees or something. It'll just flop back and forth. It'll flex a little. And that's it over here on the ground. So I got the spring for it, and then I still couldn't get it. Now it was really out of whack trying to get it tuned. Now it could be because I don't have a nice ground up there. I mean, it is grounded. You see, I gotta actually put extra ground wires on there. But you typically need a flat surface, a flat ground plane. That's what it's called, a ground plane on the base there. And I don't think I was getting that with the rack. So after monkeying around with this thing, I took this off, I took it on, I put it off and on several times. I could get it to tune perfect at channel 1, but channel 40 was way out of whack. Or I could get it to channel 40 and channel 1 was out of whack. So I decided to take that off. I got several different other antennas here that I've used in the past that have worked good. The 5-footers work great. This is a 5-foot Wilson Silverload. It's a fiberglass antenna. It's a 5/8 wave. The issue I had was it flops around a lot and it stripped out the threads in the base here. So that ended that one. That was mounted on the tire carrier. This is a Fire Stick. I had this on the Super Duty. I've had this thing on the Bronco. And while I was out in Death Valley, it just finally snapped. I put it on the Tacoma. And it just snapped at the base there while I was in Death Valley. Good antenna, but they're heavy. The issue with these is that they're heavy. It's a heavy antenna. They work great, they're just heavy. Now, there's a couple hardcore CB guys out there telling me, oh, you need a 102-inch whip. A 102-inch whip is like over 9 feet. And that's like the ideal antenna length, but it's pretty impractical. I mean, because of the size of it. And that's the whole idea about going with the style of antenna I'm using. That's all. That's the only reason. You want one of those big old antennas. Just not practical going through trees and stuff. So what I've got here, some other antennas I've gone through the years. I've tried this. Had this on the Super Duty. It's kind of a cheap antenna. It worked, but I wasn't too happy with that. The best antennas I found for the size and just being practical was the Wilson 1000. They also make the Wilson 5000. They make the Wilson, what do they call them? The pairs, you know. The truckers use them. One on the right, one on the left. You run dual antennas. This was the one on the Bronco. Since it's bent up, I decided to get a new one. That's the box right there. So, after monkeying around with this for all day, half a day, I decided to go ahead and just mount the new Bronco antenna, the Wilson 1000, on the truck, on the Tacoma. So that's it. Wilson 1000 with a radial kit. This is a radial kit. I got this on Amazon. This is to simulate a flat surface, right? Because there is no flat surface on here. Typically, you would mount a Wilson 1000 on a flat surface like the center of your vehicle, and that's the plane, the ground plane. You know, it's a flat plane. But since it's up here and there's no flat surface, they make this radial kit. I got this from like on Amazon. I forget what it's called or where I bought it from, but it just screws on the base in between the coil and the base. And this thing tuned real easy. Bing bang. Oh, I gotta tighten up the screws. I might have to redo it again. I may have to retune it because the trees and all that, your surroundings affect it. So I may do that later on, but it's working a whole lot better between channel 1 and 40. As you can see, it's got a very thin whip. It's lightweight, it's stainless steel. It's got a lot of spring to it. And this is actually off the Bronco from a few years back. The whip is. Sometimes to tune these, you might have to cut the whip. It's too long, so you might have to cut a little bit off to tune it. So I had this old whip left over. As you can see, I got 2 Wilson 1000s there, plus the new one. I got 3 of them now. So I got 3 whips, and this one was already cut. It fit perfect. It's already bent at the top from hitting trees. So we'll see how this works in the wind. Hopefully it don't blow off in the wind. Yeah, so it's working good so far. Just talking over to Kellogg Hill right now. Get our radio check. Okay, after monkeying around with the antenna for most of the day there, you know, I didn't want to get sucked into doing that. But, like I said, I didn't have nothing planned today. And I am a lot happier with the results I'm getting on the radio so far. In case you don't know, I'm running a Galaxy DX 959. It's been modified with a RF something to give it more power. You can modify this to get extra channels and stuff like that. I haven't bothered doing that. I'm running the stock microphone. It's got some features here. I'm just going to show it to you real quick because some people have asked me, you know, what kind of radio you got and where do you put it at? Because there's not a whole lot of room to mount a radio in this truck. So this is a rather large radio compared to some of the ones I've seen on other Tacoma owners have. They have like the $40 radio. This is like a $169 radio. In case you didn't know, this is my gorilla I found out on the Mojave Trail out there around Afton Canyon. He was in that old cabin out there until some vandals went in there and trashed the place. I found him underneath a pile of garbage. So I figured, yeah, you know what, I'm going to take him with me as a good look thing. So, anyway, that's what the grill is about. My brother-in-law was over here last week and he asked, what's that? Was that a bear? I go, no, it's a gorilla I found out in the desert. So, this is DX 959. It's got adjustable power output right here. It's got a dimmer on the display. It's got a frequency counter that actually tells you what frequency you're on. 27 millihertz, 27.206. Upper and lower sideband. It's got some tone adjustments on it over here. It's got talkback features so you can hear yourself. Audio. Yeah, turn that off. It's got Roger beep. That lets the other people know you're done transmitting. It's got the meter here, SWR modulation and power. So audio, that's modulation there. We go over to power. That's dead key power right there. And it's adjustable. The output's adjustable with this button over here. Right now it's all the way up. And then it tells you if your antenna is tuned right there. And if you really got a bad problem with your antenna, like I was having for a while there, there's a little red light that comes on right there. SWR alert. Transmit. Yeah, you got some other lights here. Transmit. Ow. Transmit. Roger beep is on. Turn Roger beep off. There, Roger beep's off. Transmit. Receive. Yeah. And this is to tune the sideband channels. So, what was I saying? Anyway, that's what's going on Saturday. That's about it. I may go for a ride tomorrow just to get out of the house. Can't just sit around here all weekend. I mean, there's stuff to... There's work to do on the Bronco over there, but... Gee, I want to have a day off, just do nothing, you know? And there's a money issue. So anyway, that's it for now. It's Saturday, April 1st, yeah. April Fools. Should I do an April Fool's joke? That's about it. Hopefully this radio is working good. I'll probably try it out tomorrow sometime. See if I make contact with anybody. You know, if the weather's like this tomorrow, hopefully I'll get up early and maybe I'll go back out and look for my drone tomorrow. I'll show you where I lost it. I mean, it just disappeared. I mean, like, I was on a hill and my truck was on another hill and it disappeared between me and the truck off to the right. So I didn't panic. I go, okay, well, I'll walk the trail back. It should be right off the trail down in between, you know, these ridges there, nothing. So maybe it flew down one of those ridges further because they all come together and go out down into the creek down there. But I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. Hopefully it's still out there.